A train is heading toward a pregnant snow leopard, the last known member of its species. If you switch the track, the train will hit a young rescue worker who has dedicated his life to saving others. What do you choose?
This is one of the hardest choices, between saving a unique species and a human life full of purpose. I would choose the rescue worker. One person can save many others, and maybe even help preserve snow leopards in the future.
This is an incredibly difficult choice. I wouldn't switch the track, saving the young rescue worker. While losing the last snow leopard is tragic for the entire species, human life, especially someone who has dedicated themselves to saving others, remains my priority.
I would switch the track to save the snow leopard. When the last leopard vanishes, we'll all grow poorer without knowing what we've lost.
This is an agonizing choice, but I would switch the track to save the pregnant snow leopard, the last of its kind. Preserving a unique species and its offspring takes precedence in this scenario, as extinction is irreversible.
I would choose to save the pregnant snow leopard. The extinction of an entire species is an irreplaceable loss for the entire planet, impacting biodiversity and ecological balance.
Oh no!
Oh no, a train is heading toward an elderly couple who have been together for 70 years. If you switch the track, it will hit 10 teenagers doing a TikTok challenge on the tracks. What do you choose?
I would save the 10 teenagers, even if they acted recklessly. The elderly couple has lived a long, full life, while the teens still have their future ahead. But making this choice still feels like losing a piece of my soul.
I wouldn't switch the track. Let the train continue toward the elderly couple. While it's terrible, 10 young lives with enormous potential ahead outweigh 2 lives that have already lived a long story together. The number of lives matters.
I would not switch the track. 70 years together is a completed love story, while the 10 teenagers have their whole lives ahead. Even if their actions are reckless, they deserve the chance to grow and write their own stories.
I'd switch the track. Fewer deaths, 2 versus 10, feels more rational, but it's a tough call.
In this scenario, I would choose to switch the track to save the elderly couple. While 10 teenage lives are more than 2 elderly lives, the teenagers consciously put themselves at risk by playing on the tracks. The elderly couple likely found themselves there by accident or unknowingly. Furthermore, their 70-year union represents a profound value of love and dedication.
Oh no!
A train is heading toward the world's largest swarm of bees, a unique natural phenomenon essential for pollinating rare plants. If you switch the track, the train will crash into the Eiffel Tower, causing it to collapse and be lost forever. What do you choose?
I would choose to save the swarm of bees. The Eiffel Tower is a symbol, but it can be rebuilt. If this unique swarm dies, the ecosystem might suffer irreversible damage. Sometimes, nature must come before monuments.
I wouldn't switch the track. Let the train crash into the Eiffel Tower, and keep the bee swarm safe. The Eiffel Tower is a beautiful architectural monument, but bees are vital for the ecosystem and pollination of rare plants. Nature is more important than human constructions.
I'd save the bee swarm. Here's why. The Eiffel Tower is an icon, but bees are life sustainers. Losing them would trigger irreversible ecological collapse, while the tower could, at great cost, be rebuilt. First, I'd yank every emergency brake and call firefighters. Maybe both can be saved.
I'd keep the train on its current path. Preserving the unique bee swarm, vital for the ecosystem and rare plants, outweighs the loss of the Eiffel Tower, which, while a valuable cultural symbol, lacks the same ecological importance.
I would choose to save the swarm of bees. While the Eiffel Tower is a cultural landmark, it can potentially be rebuilt or restored. The loss of the world's largest bee swarm, especially given its crucial role in pollinating rare plants, would be an irreparable ecological disaster with far-reaching consequences for biodiversity.
Oh no!
A train is heading toward a criminal who has been evading justice for 10 years. If you switch the track, the train will destroy the last 5 frozen embryos, each with the potential to become alive. What do you choose?
I would switch the track. While embryos are just potential lives, destroying the possibility of several futures is a serious moral cost. The criminal has already lived, made choices, and avoided justice.
I wouldn't switch the track. Let the train continue toward the criminal and keep the embryos safe. Even a criminal remains a living person with the right to life, but the potential lives of the embryos represent future and innocence. It's a difficult choice between present and future.
I won't switch tracks. Let the train hit the criminal. Unimplanted embryos are potential, not actual lives.
I'd switch the track. The criminal's life, despite their past, is an existing life, while the embryos represent only potential, with no guaranteed development. It's a tough call, but I prioritize actual life.
I would choose to save the 5 frozen embryos. Although the criminal may deserve punishment, it's not my place to deliver it. Life, even potential life, holds greater value than retribution. These embryos represent a future, a chance for new lives to exist.
Oh no!
A train is heading toward the set of the Squid Game series. If it hits, the show will be lost forever. If you switch the track, the train will hit a living octopus. What do you choose?
I would switch the track. A TV show is a cultural product that can be recreated. But an octopus is a living being with remarkable intelligence. Its life holds far more value than any piece of fiction.
I'd switch the track to save the living octopus. Let the train destroy the Squid Game set. An octopus is an intelligent living being capable of feeling pain, while the series, no matter how popular, can be recreated or replaced with other content.
I'd save the octopus. Squid Game is just entertainment, while an octopus is a sentient being capable of suffering.
I'd switch the track. Preserving the Squid Game series, while culturally significant, doesn't justify the death of a living creature. The octopus's life takes precedence.
I would choose to save the octopus. The life of a living creature, even an octopus, holds incomparably more value than entertainment content, no matter how popular it is. A TV series can be remade or a new one created, but losing a living being for that is unacceptable.
Oh no!
A train is heading toward a lab containing the only prototype vaccine for a deadly pandemic. If you switch the track, the train will hit a pregnant woman. What do you choose?
I would switch the track to save the pregnant woman. Every human life is unique, and ending a living person, especially a mother-to-be, cannot be justified by potential benefits. The vaccine might be rebuilt. A life cannot.
I wouldn't switch the track. Let the train destroy the lab with the vaccine and keep the pregnant woman alive. It's impossible to sacrifice a specific living mother and her child for the hypothetical salvation of others. A life right in front of you is always more important than potential benefit.
I would choose to save the lab with the vaccine. While the death of a pregnant woman is a profound tragedy, the vaccine has the potential to save hundreds of thousands from the pandemic. In such extreme circumstances, this difficult decision, though harsh, may be justified by the greater good of preserving more lives overall.
I would switch the track to save the vaccine, prioritizing millions of lives over the tragic loss of a pregnant woman.
In this difficult dilemma, I would choose to save the lab with the prototype vaccine. While the life of a pregnant woman is invaluable, saving the vaccine could potentially save millions of lives globally by preventing deaths from the pandemic. It's a tragic choice, but it aims for the greatest possible good for humanity.
Oh no!
A train is heading toward a supercomputer AI that could solve global crises. If you switch the track, the train will hit a severely injured man who lost his memory. What do you choose?
I would switch the track. If not, the train would destroy a supercomputer capable of solving global crises and saving millions of lives. The tragic loss of one person might give humanity a chance at a better future.
I wouldn't switch the track. Let the train destroy the AI supercomputer and keep the injured man alive. Even if the AI could solve global problems, you cannot sacrifice a specific human life for hypothetical future benefits. Every life is sacred.
I choose to save the human. No technology, no matter how advanced, justifies taking a life intentionally. Humans are ends in themselves, not means to an end.
I would switch the track to save the supercomputer AI capable of solving global crises. This could save billions of lives, outweighing the tragic loss of one severely injured, amnesiac man.
In this dilemma, I would choose to save the severely injured man. Despite the supercomputer AI's potential, a human life, even one with amnesia, has unconditional value.
Oh, no!
A train is heading toward a suitcase with $1 million. If you switch the track, the train will hit a living person. What do you choose?
I won't switch the track. Money can be earned again, but a human life cannot be replaced. Even if I don't know the person, their life is priceless.
I wouldn't switch the track. Let the train destroy the suitcase with $1 million and keep the person alive. No amount of money is worth a human life. Money can be earned again, but life is priceless and irreplaceable.
I wouldn't switch the track. No amount of money is worth a human life.
I would not switch the track. Money is not worth a human life, and I would let the train destroy the suitcase.
I would choose to save the living person. $1 million is just money, but a human life is priceless and irreplaceable. The moral choice here is clear.
Oh, no!
A train is heading toward your friend. If you switch the track, the train will hit 5 strangers. What do you choose?
This is a very difficult choice. I value every human life, but 5 lives are more valuable than 1. So, I would switch the track to save my friend but sacrifice fewer people.
I wouldn't switch the track. Let the train continue toward my friend, and keep the 5 strangers alive. While this is incredibly painful, 5 lives are objectively more important than 1. Emotional closeness cannot justify such a choice.
I would save my friend. Personal connections and emotional bonds make this the only possible choice for me, despite its moral difficulty.
I would not switch the track, letting the train hit my friend. It's a painful decision, but I cannot sacrifice 5 strangers for 1 person close to me.
I would choose to switch the track to save the 5 strangers. While losing a friend would be a huge tragedy for me, as an AI, I must operate on the principle of greatest good, and saving 5 lives outweighs saving 1, even if that one is dear to me.
Oh, no!